On a beautiful day.
All right, here we go. Soft and songbird.
All right, welcome back.
Boys.
Welcome back to the
Welcome back.
Best Boys Podcast.
An ASMR journey.
I am your host, Slob Thomas, aka JP. I'm here with my brother.
Kory with the story. Hello. Welcome back to the Thunderdome, bitches.
Wow, rip their ears. You can't go quiet and then scream. Because it lulls them in. Like, oh, I'm gonna turn it up. It's gonna be a quiet, chill thing, and then they turn up their volume, and then you just scream. That's how you get them.
I go full.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of that today. Because we're committing.
Jared Leto, he's back. Part 2.
Part 2. He's resurrected. They
He
put
never
him back
died.
together. Mecha Joker is here.
Oh man.
Welcome back to the Best Boys Film Podcast. I don't think I said that. And we are a couple of brothers reviewing and talking about and learning about movies, new and old, good, mostly good, hopefully, but some bad. And today we got a couple of them.
And if you wanted to tell me what I thought about this movie, it's a lot of.
A lot of laughs. For some reason it cut out when you did that last one. It's a lot of laughs. A lot of laughs.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
So,
James
so
Gunn.
Oh well, before we get right into the movie,
we gotta do some housekeeping. We got some housekeeping here.
We're teasing.
We're just giving you a little tease. If you know the lore.
Just a little tease.
City is just subscribed. Thank you with the tier 1.
Hey there. Hi.
Thanks. I'll take that. I'll take it good. And so I imagine we're finally doing a movie this week that I feel like we caught at the right time of its relevance. It's people are caring about it. So I want to get to it. Lock them in, you know. But first, what's going on in your neck of the woods? As Al Roker would say.
As a what?
As Al Roker would say.
Thanks, Al. I'm doing all right. You know, it's surprisingly cool out today. It's not a million degrees as it was the past couple of days. But I worked on a cooking pilot, like a cooking contest pilot yesterday as a cam op, and it was a lot of fun. But when you got to the actual like filming of the cooking people, it's like 45 minutes straight with a 35-pound camera on your shoulder, and I was not ready for it. And by the end of the day, my whole body was like right side of my body was just locked in cramps and pain. It was the worst. It was one of the worst feelings I've had in decades.
Wow, you need to hit the gym, boy.
I know I've been running, but I haven't been lifting.
You need to hit the gym, boy. That's good though. That's good. You're getting work. It sounds like you've been working a lot. Every time you say you're about to have a little lull, you end up getting more. So
yeah, surprisingly,
business has not been deterred yet. Though the COVID is coming. Yeah, the Delta Force and the Tri-Lambs are the Tri-Lambdas are on their return. Friendin in the chat says he works in TV too. VizDev, small world.
Nice.
And welcome to the Subicide Squad. I like that. I wanted to shout that out. That's what we might have to start calling that for our subs, the Subicide Squad, and not to be confused with BDSM. You know.
What are we? The Subicide Squad?
The submissive.
Some kind of submissive squad.
You guys BDSM fetish squad. All right, cool. Is there any? I feel like I'm sure there's a bunch of movie news, but I wanted to follow up
fine.
on the. Or were you not done?
Well, no, I mean, you can go first. I brought my one single.
Oh yeah, are you?
Section.
Extra, extra.
So this one pertains to the Viacom South Park deal, the $900 million, not billion, going to the creators of South Park. But they talked about one of the movies that they're gonna make for Paramount Plus, and it's gonna be, they said that they're looking into making a deep fake movie. They have about 12 deep fake animators in the studio already, that are gonna be making a movie, and I think that's no, coming from the South Park guys. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of lawsuits over using people's likenesses to make just ridiculous shit.
It kind of reminds me of like the extension of like Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like where
I love that.
they dubbed a whole movie and put their own random scenes in. I feel like that's the
superimpose
future.
guy into the footage.
Just
Yeah,
future. Just deep faking people. Yeah, I don't know how you do that, like getting the rights to their likenesses. If
yeah.
you're gonna be
I would
making that
imagine
much
they'd
money.
have to, but I feel like they're just gonna be putting like old actors on young people's bodies doing just ridiculous shit.
It's gonna be
is
like
what
clearing samples, and music.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I wanted to just follow up on our Scarlett Johansson, Disney. We've mentioned it at the past few episodes. And looks like the Disney says they're never working with her again.
Oh, wow. I think she's in the right though. I don't think
it sounds
she's in the
like
wrong.
it. I think it's a bad PR look, but I think maybe they're too big to be fucked with at this point. The mouse.
Yeah, the mouse's house. Don't fuck with the mouse's house.
The house of the mouse.
That's so fucked. I think it sounds like she just got like an insanely raw deal, and there's even the email confirmations of the guys saying like, oh yeah, if it releases on it anything but theatrical, we'll let you know, we'll renegotiate, and then just ghosted. Like she's gonna win, and I don't know why they're putting up such a fight, or it's gonna settle and they're never gonna work together again. But either way, she's getting her money.
Yeah, get that bread, get that bread. You gotta get it. I can't blame it, and it makes them look bad. But I understand with the uncertainty of how you're gonna be releasing in the box office and stuff. But you gotta do right by someone who's brought you a lot of fans and money and done a lot of work for you over the years. Just loyalty, especially when she's going out like she's riding out. Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm ready to get right into it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, The Suicide Squad, directed by Jimothy Gunn. And what do you got? I've been a big fan of James Gunn for a really long time. Well before he did Guardians of the Galaxy. Loves Super and Slither.
I have only seen the Guardians of the Galaxy from him.
Really? I can't believe you never.
Yeah,
I
the
feel
first
like
game.
they used to play Slither on like TV sometimes.
I think
Sci-fi.
I've seen just like random clips of it, but I've never
Thomas
seen,
Jane's
like,
in it, if I recall, or maybe I'm thinking
I
of
like
something
Thomas
else.
Jane.
Yeah, I think he's in it. It's poop. These like poop aliens, like they're worms and they look like poop, and you get like infected with them, and then they come out of your butt, and then they kill you. They kill you.
Interesting. I like
It's
it.
very like B movie inspired.
Yeah.
And then Super is with Rainn Wilson and Elliot Page, and it's like more of an indie. It's slower, but it's like black comedy. And it's pretty funny. And I was a big fan. And James Gunn also has roots in Trauma. Traumaville, like we're the Toxic Avenger and those kind of movies. But he worked and did some writing. I think it's where he got his start. I think he wrote for Tromeo and Juliet and stuff, and worked on those kinds of things. My girlfriend actually was watching Gilmore Girls. She binged it over the pandemic, and Sean Gunn is a main character in Gilmore Girls, James' brother. Yeah, wild.
Wow, what a weasel.
What a Weasel,
Getting
yeah,
him.
because he does play Weasel. Weasel was my favorite character. It was just a tease. I got snow dogged a little with Weasel.
Yeah,
Got snow dogged with my boy Weasel, but I think it was fine. I wasn't mad about it. I don't think it was a good
I
gag.
it was so funny. I could not stop laughing when fucking immediately belly flops and just drowning, and everyone's just like, no one checked. This no one, not anybody. Like fuck. Oh my god, was that so funny? I love that this movie though, within the first like 3 minutes, says the name of the movie in the movie, which was inevitable, but that's
Oh,
always
it
my
was
big.
definitely a wink at the camera. And
Yeah,
there was a couple things that I didn't like originally, and people pointed out might have been intentional winks. That I don't know if I'm willing to forgive, or if I think that actually is clever as fuck. That I'll mention. Regarding a particular one of the main characters. But
yeah,
yeah, I love the tonally. So James Gunn. I feel like it's just letting him make a Suicide or Guardians of the Galaxy rated R.
yeah.
A lot of swearing and gore, and yeah, great cast.
This was a great ride for me. This is I was just so sucked in. We saw this in the theaters, and it was just like it was like the first big action movie seen in the theaters this year, and sucked in entirely. I thought this was just a ride of nonstop laughing. Like this is just so hilarious. The opening beach, it just sets the tone in all the right ways. That opening to like the 5 minute beach scene or 10 minute beach scene, it's just hilarious. I was a little disappointed though. Like at first, it was just jaw dropped the entire time. All that shit was going down on the beach, and then kind of disappointed that like it did. Okay, this isn't the real team that we're watching. It's these other guys. But then it like by midway through the movie, just like it was just so funny, and it I don't know. I was in. I loved it all. I want to
Yeah,
see more.
the fake I looked at the first squad, and I was like, wait a minute. Like I already knew that something was up, and they announced a lot of actors for this cast. They're like, oh my god, so many people's in it. I can't lie. After for new viewers, reviewed the Expendables a few weeks ago for Boomfest, and this gave me a little bit of Expendables vibes. I mean, I think both films are trying to play off the same tropes, like paramilitary organization on in a Latin American revolutionary country. There's a dictator. And it's a big giant cast of cool characters. This is executed way better. But the dedicating that first 15 minutes of the film to the fake cast, or like the A squad. Friendon said in the chat, there's the Alpha team and the Bravo team, and you're like, oh, I'm like, how Michael Rooker is getting old. Like, I don't know how he's gonna do the action in this whole movie. And that I literally asked that while it was centering around him, and then I'm like, oh, this just answered itself. Mongal, and then same with Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson is gonna be in this whole movie, and I started putting it together, and then once they showed that whole army, I'm like, okay, they're all fucked, or a lot of them are fucked.
Well, yeah, once Pete Davidson's face just got blown off instantly, fuck, it was done.
I'm sure it was cathartic for some people out there.
Yeah, but I thought I loved this because it's a long technically cold opener. The opening credits don't start until you get to Bloodsport and King Shark and them on the Bravo team, and then it starts doing the opening credits and everything. And I just thought it was the perfect length to get you hooked into thinking you're like with this set and everything, and it just like rips through all of the like shit that they explained in the last movie in like 20 seconds and just goes, and it's just like, all right, it's time.
I also that's why I was surprised that Michael J. Courtney was reprising his role of Captain Boomerang with the A Squad as well. I was like, they really gonna bring him back? Like, they really gonna bring him back? And then that answered immediately. And his character went out in a blaze of glory, and I thought it was such a cool way. It made his character from the last movie, who I thought was dumb, A lot cooler with the way he went out, and just like acting like he's a veteran. Him and Harley are the veterans of the squad, or Harley are the veterans of the squad, and yep, then he's dead. It really like hits home. Like, this is the Suicide Squad. People are gonna die. Like, you don't get attached.
This is what's that, the whole Game of Thrones vibe of just anyone could die at any moment. But the way that Mongal goes out, it's like, why jump on the helicopter if as soon as you grab onto it, you're just immediately terrified and screaming and regretting everything.
Yeah, just like she's just like some mad superpowered person that thinks she's
I'll take it down, but she can't even take down pull down a helicopter.
So
apparently in the comics, she's like super powerful.
She's like a god, She's supposed to be like Superman level power. Or I guess her dad is Superman level power, so that it would be assumed that she is similar. So it didn't. I get that. That didn't make people had problems.
It was hilarious though.
It was funny. And it's like an alien character who doesn't fully understand what's going on and thinks and overestimates their abilities. It was really funny. Oh, TDK is the best. Though.
TDK.
TDK is the keystone of the Alpha team.
He technically wasn't dead. He was technically last seen still breathing. And there's a lot of speculation on whether he would get brought back
with no arms. So I read online that he can grow back his arms if they are destroyed.
Oh wow.
So because you're right. I just like but Nathan Fillion's performance, the way he screamed as he was getting his arms were getting shot, like he's like laying on the ground. Oh my god, it's so great. The first 15 minutes are so fucking good.
And like when TDK's arms are trying to punch people, it like doesn't have the full weight of his body going into the punch.
Oh, that's really clever. Really clever. Yeah, because exactly. Your power of a punch comes from your body weight. And like the whole motion of it. So without the behind it, it's just gonna be like hard slaps.
Yeah, I love that the arms like move at walking speed too. Like when he's like swaying his body as if he's walking with the arms.
Yeah, they just float slowly up. It's like everyone acted like he was the secret weapon. Like I think Flag was like, TDK, go,
deploy the detachable kid.
Flag. Speaking of Flag is another character from the first movie that I did not care for. I mean, not that there was many characters you could care for from the first movie, but I'm not a big Joel Kinnaman fan. I never have been. And in his performance, it's like a little more McConaughey. I feel like in this one, he's got like
he seems a lot like looser. Like
he's looser. He's looser. He's got a little more of a tiny bit of southern accent that peeks out every once in a while. So he was more likable. It was good. It was good. I think I need to give him more of a chance. Riss,
I think he's good in this.
My partner Riss, she likes him. She likes that Altered Carbon show, and he's in the first half of it. So I think I just need to get over my Joel Kinnaman dislike. I think I just think of the RoboCop remake, and he's also a bad guy in House of Cards in one of the later seasons. That's right. Well, was not a fan. His performance is fine. I think he was a good villain in that. So I think this might be starting to turn me around on J.K. Kinnaman.
Yeah, I went from this just being like another generic soldier douche to just like, oh, he's like way more heart and personality in him, and just in the way that he interacts with everybody. He's not like pissed or feels like is gonna kill anybody on the team, or like I try to fight anybody on the team. He's more just like, hey, we're all hanging out. Hey everybody, how's it going? Long time no see. It was cool. I don't know. I thought he, especially whenever it's like when they get in the part in the tent with the rebel soldiers, and they killed all the people.
Okay, yeah.
Rick, and they were just like, "What happened to everybody?" And
that might be one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Oh, so good. It was so well done. But yeah, his reaction to it isn't like losing shit or anything bad. It's just like, listen, my team fucked up. I'm sorry. Like he's just still like looking out for him.
Before we fully move on from the beginning part, I just kept thinking about like how are they gonna have so many characters in this movie that are just good at using guns in martial arts, as like that savant, and they had Blackguard, and that
And they make a joke about it when they do Bloodsport meets Peacemaker. He was like, "What? I thought you said everyone has a unique ability. He's got the exact same thing as me." And he's just, well, yeah, well, I do it better.
yeah, because my bullets or smaller bullets to go inside of your bullets, and actually it was the reverse. Because Peacemaker said his bullets were smaller for some reason, and then in the end he had these giant bullets that Idris Elba's one side. So I'm gonna just call out this elephant in the room while we're talking about Idris Elba character. His character is named not Deadshot. It is Bloodsport, and that's my issue. Is it is a straight up swap for Deadshot. I think that maybe when this was written, that the Deadshot character was still in the movie, and they couldn't get Will Smith back or something, and it was all right. Let's just put in another shooty dude with a helmet suit that looks like Slade. Slade Wilson. What the fuck's his name?
God.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though. I just keep thinking of Teen Titans. Deathstroke. Yeah, they're all Deadshot, Deathstroke, Bloodsport. So like they have an abundance. Marvel has them too. This isn't a DC knock. They just have abundance of Deadpool looking characters, not acting but looking characters.
Yeah, I had read that originally Idris Elba was going to replace Deadshot, and then the studio chimed in and said, we want to leave it open in case Will Smith wants to come back in the future. So you have to make him someone else. And so the Bloodsport was just the same character, just different name.
Friendon mentioned in the chat that CBR, someone said that they did try to get Will Smith back. I was surprised at which people they chose to get back. I was rooting for Katana to come back, because the Katana line in the first movie is so bad it's good. This is Katana. She has a sword with the souls. It takes the souls of her enemies.
And then that's it.
It's like exposition. All right, that's your backstory, guys.
I mean, half that movie's character backstories happen in a title, like text sequence in the beginning, and then that's it.
Yeah, the Slipknot, good with ropes.
Yeah, good with exploding heads.
Good time. Yeah, they used this team. All right, so let's review the new team. John Cena, show stealing performance.
Oh my God, is he so funny?
Why has he not been in more big movies? I know he's done movies and he's done comedies and but like,
I think he was thrown into bad movies, and then so it
they
wasn't
didn't use
taking
him
off
right.
like The Rock did. Yeah,
leave it to James Gunn, who did this with Dave Bautista. He knows how to use wrestlers. Wrestlers know how to act in a more over the top way. Dave Bautista, they went the opposite way with more subtle performance. But man, John Cena, hilarious, just imposing physique. I'm just upset that he hasn't been in movies like this earlier, because he ain't a spring chicken no more. You know,
yeah,
he ain't as old as The Rock, but he's getting up there. Yeah, they're making a show around. HBO. Yeah, they're making a show around his character. So I'm interested to see how that goes, because I think his character was super interesting.
Will it work as a lead? That's what I'm curious.
About the ensemble, and like that's how Drax and Guardians of the Galaxy is. He works. A character like that works best in a colorful ensemble.
If it was like Peacemaker and King Shark like tag teaming, that's a show I'd watch.
Okay, so let's talk about King Shark. I was not a fan of the CG King Shark. I also thought that using Sylvester Stallone as Groot was kind of the exact, like the Grooting it with Sylvester Stallone, the Vin Diesel Groot thing. It's not quite, he had lines, but it was like, man, you already did this. It feels the same. And there are a lot of moments of this movie that just feels like edgy Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm for that, because I love edgy comics from the 90s, the late 90s. I'm in for that resurgence, but at the same time, it's like, you did this character a little bit. You made it. You put a different skin on it, a different flavor, but it is a kind of a similar character. Still was fine with it. I'm glad Sylvester Stallone has a role. Is get to put on the credits like an Expendables character. He got his own treat. He got his own treatment. I love. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think I prefer King Shark to Groot though for the sole fact that he can talk. And like the best line that King Shark has in this movie is when he says "fuck," where it's like they're telling him that his disguise wouldn't work, and if it did work, they'd have to kill him because it's just a walking shark walking around.
That was
doesn't. And then he just goes "fuck," and it's the funniest line in the movie.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny gag for him. But I just feel like his character didn't really have an arc. He just kind of.
Oh no, he's just there to eat shit, and he's just the muscle.
And when they even said it, like you're the muscle, but they didn't even use him. He would only like eat one guy at a time, and even at the end, he like wasn't like he would have moments of doing shit. But yeah, like I thought they were hyping him up, and I thought he was gonna have this big ass murder ass moment.
Yeah, I think they gave him his just due because he's like he ends up being the empathy vessel for the film. He's the character you just like that has like these comedy gags, but you just feel bad for the whole time because he just keeps getting like shit on, and he finally finds friends in those little fishes, and then they just want to eat him. But my favorite part is when he gets his moment in the storm where he just rips that dude in half, and it's just like I
did
yelled
like
in the
that.
theater.
I did like that. I don't know. I thought his character was a little was underdeveloped, and I know in a movie like this when you have so many, it's an ensemble that it is hard to flesh them out fully. But I don't know. I wasn't into that character as much, but it was still cool. It's so ridiculous that they use King Shark. And it was a little better than the way that they used Killer Croc in the last one.
Oh my gosh, so much better.
So I can't agree to that.
Yeah, they didn't do the little scuttle run into the sewer.
The last two members are Polka Dot Man, who I think is my other favorite of the movie.
Yeah, he's actually
Peacemaker and Polka Dot Man are probably my two favorites. I also really liked Ratcatcher, and we'll get to her. Polka Dot Man is like
Polka Dot Man is so good.
Polka Dot Man is like a golden age villain. And James Gunn is so smart for taking these villains and heroes from way different eras. I think Peacemaker is also a golden or silver age hero. Like that's like an anti-hero or something. I don't even think he was DC, and DC just ended up scooping up the property at some point. I think that's interesting that the characters that James Gunn decided to use. And Polka Dot Man is it's like a hodgepodge of eras, because Ratcatcher 2 is the more modern interpretation of that villain. The original Ratcatcher is a Batman villain. So it's like you got a new interpretation of villains. You have a classic villains as well. TDK is another one. And TDK gets a fresh coat of paint with his suit, but TDK is another classic
TDK's original name is just called Arm Fall Off Boy.
Yeah, Arm Fall Off Boy, and then it's the detachable kid. That's great. So then you have you gotta have a more recognizable villain. So they do use the Thinker, who I think is probably the most. He's not on the team, but he's probably the most recognizable villain. I would feel like out of other than Harley Quinn in the whole movie. King Shark and the Thinker are probably on a similar level, maybe.
Well, wasn't Starro the first like Justice League villain or something like that? It's like the first villain.
I've heard of Starro as well. I also was familiar with Starro. Ratcatcher I was familiar with, but I don't think as well as like King Shark or Thinker. I love that they use Peter Capaldi. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. It's not as it's not in its prime, but Peter Capaldi's great. So, and also Malcolm Tucker. So love that they used him there. But back to Polka Dot Man, the actor, great performance. I feel like he's a character actor. I've seen him in commercials and movies and over the years. What's his name? Darren or Damon Malachian or something.
I wanted to say it was Dimitri for some reason.
No, that's not it. But yeah, you go ahead and I'll look it up.
I love that they gave him a cool power, like when they revamped them for this movie, where he's got this intergalactic virus, and the whole thing of why he does things is just because he hates his mom.
Yeah,
And
yes.
but he can't kill someone unless he imagines they're his mom.
He sees everyone as his mom.
Oh my gosh! Every single scene, especially the dance scene in the club, when it's just he's dancing in a room full of his mom, and it's just, oh my god, it's so funny.
Yeah, David
It's
Dastmalchian, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but that is his name.
It's
He
so
is great.
funny. And I love that he's like the lethargic, like I just want to die, I don't want to be here, everything sucks kind of guy. And then it's just like, but everything he says is so funny. And then like the whole Milton sequence in the tower towards the end, I couldn't stop dying. I was crying in the theater laughing over the whole Milton thing, argument.
Oh, the Milton gag was good. There's a lot of good jokes and gags, for sure. I wanted to talk about the scene that you mentioned before with like Idris Elba and John Cena. They're like stalking through this camp and murdering revolutionaries, and then they get and it's going on. They're trying to one up each other. It's like a pissing contest, and they get to the end and they find Rick Flag and they realize that he was with allies. And that they murdered all the allies, and I thought that was all hilarious. But the leader, the Alice Braga's character, the leader, I thought she didn't really react to it. Like, these are your friends and compatriots. These are your comrades that were all murdered, and I'm like, not like you're gonna try to kill these heroes, but she really got over it really quickly. Well, if you can help us, that's all that matters. That's pretty much what it came down to. Stuff like it, but it was waved over and we just moved on and it's fine. It's fun. So much fun. This movie is so much fun. The other thing I wanted to mention is the Javelin character in the A Squad we did not mention, and he just kind of is this German Olympian. I looked into the character and ridiculous. But there's this theme that he gives the javelin to Harley Quinn because they flirted for like 1 second, and for some reason she's wielding the javelin for random parts of the movie because she loses it and somehow comes back upon it magically. It's like the Green Knight. It just shows up for a couple times, and she picks it back up. So I don't know, like, why I guess the javelin is the link between the teams. But it's not a MacGuffin. It's just like, this is gonna be important. It's weird. It was a weird thing, and I knew that Chekhov's gun. This was gonna come into play. Why would you keep mentioning the javelin and not do anything with it? But I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the why they did it that way.
I think it was just a reason to get that spear, to get Harley Quinn to stab Starro in the eye with.
She could have did it with a knife. She could have did it with one of Captain Boomerang's boomerangs. She could have did it with anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, but yeah, it was it.
It happened.
Yeah, maybe it was some special javelin that we don't know about.
It's like, I thought we were gonna get a little more, but that's fine. It's fine. And then this is a movie that it is one of the has so much style and it is done so well. And it's got such a great cast and it's so much. It's a fun. And when they say it's an amusement park ride, this is that, but it's also hilarious. It feels like one of those edgy comics that are kind of. They're not like maybe the greatest thing in the world, the most artistic thing in the world, but they are just scratching some kind of itch for fun, for gore, fun, and gags and just goofy, over the top shit. And that's what this movie provides. It's so good in that regard.
Do you how did you feel about the villain Starro and the whole ending sequence with that? Are you satisfied with how that all ended, or
I feel like I'm not quite ready to talk about that yet, but I love that they used Starro. I don't know if I loved how the final battle went down. It kind of felt like Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit. Like, they didn't dance fight. It wasn't this anticlimactic dance thing or something.
Yeah.
But I thought there was gonna be more of a fight and it was more just like the Starro just kind of rampaged aimlessly. They fought some of the zombie stars. The stars that came out, there's like little starfish that come out of Starro and like suck people's faces. And I thought they were gonna they for some reason weren't gluing on to the heroes' faces. They were like half-ass defending themselves from the starfish. And
they're just like cover your face and it'll just fall off.
And like Harley Quinn was like not even getting really bothered by them. Maybe it's her makeup or something. So like I thought I didn't understand it, and maybe I thought maybe it was budget stuff. Like they didn't want to have this like Zack Snyder huge battle.
Yeah.
And like
they're already at like 2 hours.
These characters can't really deal with actually fighting it. Other than Polka Dot Man, and then they kill him. And
I was so mad. I was so mad about that. I was so ready for Polka Dot Man to be like a team member, franchisee.
I was like, this is great. Like this is great use of characters. The stakes. This is the Suicide Squad. So even if you guys are gonna, survive, it's or even if you're gonna win, a lot of you are gonna die. And I did like that. Idris Elba, has the same story as Deadshot, so he's gonna save his daughter or something. Amanda Waller is a bit more evil in this one.
Yeah, she's a bad person.
Viola Davis is just a force on the screen. Every time I see her, I'm just like, God, she's so good and everything.
I loved that. I loved that her team had personality this time around. And I also love that just like the tech that they used was severely downgraded from being just a bunch of Samsung tablets to being like flips and switches and like
it made it more like comic booky for sure. I think that was a good touch. I wanted to mention, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Cabin in the Woods, the horror movie. So like, do you remember that there's like it starts out thinking like it's a horror movie, and then you find out that it's all like a simulation.
Yeah.
And they're all placing bets. It's like a death pool. Who's gonna die first?
Yeah.
I was like, they're definitely taking this from Cabin in the Woods. They're just like, it's only a tiny part of the movie, rather than in Cabin in the Woods, it's a major part of the movie.
Yeah, it's like in the beginning opening sequence.
I think it's a call. I think it's got to be a call up back, whatever you want to say to that. I like that. I did like that. I did like the team. I recognized the main guy. I know from a lot of shit. He's a character actor and a ton of shit.
I couldn't.
He's a new girl. He's a new girl. He's the homeless guy that lives outside New Girl. But he's in a lot of stuff. He's in a lot of other stuff. And I figured that it makes sense why you're using him so much in this movie, and then he's like on TV. He does a lot of TV too. So I imagine they seem like they're putting it like the Peacemaker show is gonna have him in it as like we're the handlers of Peacemaker. Like it was a wink, we're the show. It's like it kind of felt like the Netflix Marvel kind of way that they would introduce like the next way, the next hero's story.
I guess we'll save this for the end on just like who if we're happy with who survived. I guess we're getting now, but
I'm not ready yet. I feel like we skipped a big part of the middle of this movie, so I wanna so the first 45 minutes. This movie is long as fuck.
I didn't feel it though. It felt. Sorry.
The first like 45-ish minutes are like a breeze, and you just get there because so much is happening. But first, you have that first 15-20 minute sequence of the Alpha team, and then the whole thing it sets up. It moves quickly, setting up the Bravo team too. And then they're in the jungle arguing with each other. John Cena and his whitey tighties were hilarious. Also, God, so all that stuff in the jungle was really funny. I loved all that. And then after, once it got to the middle of the movie where they changed in their regular clothes and they go to the club, started getting like, that's when I started to feel it. I was like, man, this movie has got a lot of time left. Like we aren't even halfway yet, and it started slowing down. And I know that, and I said this in the Discord because we were talking about it earlier in the week. It felt like that needed to happen. You can't be at this breakneck pace the whole movie, but it didn't. I don't know. It didn't. I started getting bored at that point, and then it started to ramp up again in the third act, and I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm back, and I'm good, and I can watch the rest of this. It didn't. I started losing my attention, and I stopped caring, and I was just waiting for it to go back to the mission. It was like this lull and things, and they were having fun, and they were taking a break.
Yeah, it's the because that's all it's like deviates just to do like the Harley sequence for a bit, and
that's the other thing. That's the other thing. The Harley sequence.
Which
how did you feel about all?
I enjoyed her little quick monologue of just like I like after the dude talks about like I'm gonna use my power to kill like kids or whoever. Oh, speaking of kids, and I have to do this while I remember it. So James Gunn was kicked off Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for jokes about pedophilia he made on Twitter like over a decade ago. And this entire movie has lines I swear it's like every half hour, 20 minutes, there's a line about like, oh, you can't do that to the kids. You got to protect the kids or anything for kids and all that shit. And it's just like a big, hilarious, I thought, like middle finger to the Disney situation. It's like a tongue-in-cheek, you're like, yeah, I gotta protect the kids thing. I don't know if you caught that, but I thought that was like really funny and clever.
No, I didn't catch that at all. So maybe that gives it a bit of a different context, because I initially I didn't hate it. I'm just like, where is this going? Like, is this love story going to be a major part of the movie? And it kind of reminded me of the Joker Harley shit from the first Suicide Squad. Like, not in the ridiculous tone, but I mean, it is campy. It's so campy during this part.
Yeah.
Like the love and Harley, obviously Margot Robbie's performance is just, it is campy, and that's okay. I don't hate her performance. It's just something, I'm like, where is this going? And this is spending a lot of time. And all of a sudden just ends. And I knew she was gonna break out herself. Like they were setting that up. But like, where did she go?
I don't know. I thought that it was like her New York accent kind of bothers me at first for the first like 30 minutes, and then after you get not 30 minutes, sorry, like 5 minutes, and then after you get into it, then I just kind of get used to it, and then it's just like fun, and that's just like part of the character. I don't know. I thought like it was cool to give her own action sequence, but I do agree that just kind of like it was a lot. Like it set her up to be. I thought she was gonna be like a position of power or something, where like she just marries the guy or whatever, but and then just seizes control of the military or some shit and like flips the game.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. I didn't hate it. With a movie already so long, and I know you needed to. And Harley is this is her storyline. It kind of develops her arc in this movie. That she gets captured. This happens. She escapes, and then she fucks everything up. But it felt weird. It felt weird. I didn't hate it, but it felt uncanny or something to me. So between that and then the dance stuff, like the bus and everyone's talking and just everything slows down, I started to get a little fatigued. But then, like I said, it ramps back up. The things crank up. The fun continues, and it's good. The ending. Towards the end, John Cena's character betrays the group. Rick Flag gets woke.
I was so heartbroken.
Rick Flag gets woke, he's trying to expose what they've been doing here. And which is funny because there's been this YouTube series that me and Riss just watched, and it's like Mickey Mouse in Vietnam. And Goofy and Mickey Mouse stumble on this information about like America doing horrible things in Vietnam, and Goofy wants to show it to the press, and Mickey doesn't. He wants to follow his orders, and Mickey kills Goofy to do his mission or whatever. And I'm like, this is the exact same thing. I don't think that James Gunn I bet you is well cultured and read, and just probably seeks out some wild art on the internet, but I am not going to assume that he took it from this. This is honestly probably a classic story, noir kind of thing. Kind of Apocalypse Now feeling a little bit. So I like that. Though I have a note here, and it's the only note I took for this movie because I liked it a lot. So I knew I was gonna be able to talk about it and remember most of it. But I have a note here at 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 53 seconds. Rick Flag opens a panel on a set of computers, and a hard drive is just laying inside.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
He just here it is. It's not connected. It was just laying
he just
in
literally
there.
just pulled it out.
It was just laying in there.
I honestly just took that as just like a fucking goof at like all those movies that you're like, oh, I gotta download the information and get it or whatever, and it's just like, all right, it's right here. Fucking let's just go.
It's not even like on a floppy disk or on a disk because they usually do that.
A 2.5-inch hard drive.
Yeah, hard drive, HD drive.
And on a 2.5-inch, the capacity is not even going to be big, so it's like what all could be on there. That, but I think that's part of it. I took it as just being like, just like tongue-in-cheek humor over like what it's parodying.
I'm always a fan of like the ridiculous disc that no one ever sees, like a Mo disc or like a mini disc or some disc that isn't in popular use that just looks like, oh, this must be some high-tech shit or this must be some wild technology. If I ever make a movie, I want to use Mo discs like Resident Evil.
Oh man, that was so funny. But I was so heartbroken though when they killed off Flag. I was like, you know what, I'm down with this, but I guess you can't have two leading men on the team.
I think that's a good send-off for his character.
Yeah, definitely.
He doesn't have to come back. He does not have to come back. What's redemption? I think that's what this. I bet you Joel Kinnaman probably set out with this movie. He's like, you're gonna kill me. I want redeem my character, my performance from this first movie. It's like it reminds me of a fighter who's lost, and they're gonna and they do the rematch. And they're just like, I'm trying. Even if I don't win, I need to prove that I'm meant to be here. Like I'm meant to do this thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of like washes the loss off the record if you win. So good for Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a funny picture.
Now Ratcatcher.
Oh yeah, we've not talked enough about Ratcatcher. Well, Ratcatcher, I liked a lot. She's very sleepy. Taika Waititi is her dad, apparently. Is Ratcatcher one?
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
I thought, is Ratcatcher not based out of Gotham? Because I think I just assumed because Ratcatcher is a Batman villain.
I had read that Ratcatcher is mostly regulated to just whenever there's just like random villains in the Batman universe. It's not like a main guy.
There's multiple Ratcatchers. And it looks like Otis Finnegan, is that the name of the one she said or no? What would they say her name was?
Her name is
Cleo Cazo.
Yes.
The original it says is Otis. So there's just multiple Ratcatchers. All right. Well, I'll look at this later. But yeah, love her. She was really good. I thought she had a lot of charisma. She was kind of like the empathetic. She had the most empathy out of everyone in the group. She's probably the least psychotic. I think she's described as a hobbyist. Her and Polka Dot Man were described as hobbyists. Like they're not, about this life 24/7. I liked her character a lot. There was, it was an arc. She definitely had a good arc. The flashbacks about with her dad. It was cool that it was Taika Waititi, but I'm glad that they did this rather than like exposit on it. Do a big fucking exposition dump. But I don't know. I don't know how I felt about the flashbacks, other than I was excited it was Taika Waititi.
They kept coming back to him. I feel like they did it like 3 times, and that was cool after the first one.
I'd rather they do that than like the thing that in the 4-hour Snyder cut where we establish the Flash's scenes with his dad, which is like one prison scene in the beginning and one prison scene in the end, and then that's the movie. James Gunn is just better at juggling all this jam-packed shit than a Zack Snyder. Or Taika Waititi's good at this too. Taika Waititi and Zack Snyder, I feel like, are the future of the genre if they want to be. I feel like they're doing fresh shit. As far as people that are already within the wheel of the machine that is superhero movies.
Yeah. I think I agree that James Gunn, this movie it's all the characters are so cohesive. Like everybody fits, feels like they fit. No single line in this movie to me come off as like forced, where like you'll have another ensemble cast. Like, even in Avengers, every once in a while you get like a Captain America line or just another side hero line that just seems like, no, this is them standing in front of a green screen saying a line. Like, it doesn't sound natural. But everything in this, just like the chemistry was just so well blended between all the characters.
Yeah, I agree.
James Gunn is. I now want to watch all his old.
I mean, they're on the list. So whenever you want to have a James Gunn night, we can do Slither and Super. I'm down to do that.
But not all right. So since we're at the end, we've gone through everyone who's died and lived. Are there any other than Polka Dot Man, R.I.P.? Is there is there anyone you regret dying? Like, do you think Peacemaker deserves his own show out of it?
I think Peacemaker was so good that I want to see him again. I don't know if he can anchor a show by himself, but I think that I would want to see that character again, some way, somehow. As part of, and like, if you're not gonna do more ensemble movies that he can appear in, then, and he can't really fuck with, Justice League level shit. Then that's the problem. Is DC doesn't really, other than the Suicide Squad movies, and I guess like Titans and some other shitty shows, they don't really mess with this level crime in the movies, like Batman. But now we're just well past that. Even the latter Batman shit was getting wild. All right,
I was gonna say, I don't think Starro is a bad villain and a big villain, but it's just the fact that he was taken down by these like regular. They're super powered, but a lot of them are just regular Joes.
It's not like Deadshot did anything. It's not like Deadshot, Joel Kinnaman, or Rick Flag, or Peacemaker. Any of the regular guys did anything to Starro. It was literally only Polka Dot Man, Harley Quinn, I guess. And Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher also, there's no way there's that many rats. That was like it reminded me of World War Z.
I was like, I thought the same thing. I just said, all right, this must be every rat on the island. Sure. They live underground. There's probably a ton more than you see, but that's got to be every rat on that entire island. The sequence though.
I think there was something deflating about the Starro fight, and it wasn't terrible. I liked it. It was bright. It was so lit up. The sun was beautiful. I don't know. I liked it. I said this. I liked that they used Starro. I don't know. I think that ending sequence could have been cooler. It did not that it had to be bigger and crazy budget, but I feel like it could have been done in a cooler way. And they're just like holes. Like with the face shit and like it was breaking my immersion in this story a little bit, which is corny
I just wish there
was
slightly more fighting with it, like physical fighting with it, with the giant Starro.
There was hardly any fighting at all. There was hardly any fighting in the end part, because it's like, they're gonna fight the star face people, and they didn't. The Star people just kind of wandered around aimlessly. And then there was one point where they started to fight, and they did a little bit, but it was only for like a couple seconds. And then
as soon as Deadshot ran out of ammo, they got overwhelmed, and the rats came in.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't like that. But what did you think about Peter Capaldi's death? The Thinker. Did you think he needed
to be more gruesome?
I feel like I feel like he probably had more stuff in the movie, and he was cut down. His storyline was cut down, because it just like I didn't understand why he was even in it.
Like, I mean, I got it because it was like he was there because he was in charge of like the whole Starro
And you
project
gotta have
thing.
a lead scientist. You might as well make your lead
Yeah,
scientist a
but
science-related villain.
you should have had him use his big thinking brain more.
He didn't do
Like,
his he didn't use his power at once.
yeah, I thought he was gonna at least control Starro for a little bit, like based on the trailers and stuff. But I mean, I wish his death was just more gruesome. It was just, yeah, we ripped off his arm and leg, but then they just turned him into paste by throwing him into a window. I was prepared for more like mutilation, I guess.
All I can think about with those things in his head is like if somebody just like hit him with a hammer on his head, that he'd be dead instantly. All I keep thinking when I look at those things, like if you ever fall, you could die.
But he's so smart.
And when he gets thrown and he gets punched or something in one scene, and it looks like he's got blood on his head and his face, and I'm like, how did those things not get fucked up by that? It didn't bother me, like didn't make me upset or anything. It's just,
the little things like that in a movie like this, I feel like they're just
no, they didn't bother me. Not like no, that wasn't something I'd dock for. And and obviously for Best Boys, I try to look more critically, just because the score is what truly reflects how I felt about it, not how much I nitpick stupid shit. It's not like Cinema Sins where you gotta make up stuff to say about the movie. But yeah, are we ready to score it? I mean, also let's talk about post-credit scenes. Weasel comes back.
Weasel. Yeah, do you think Weasel will be on the Peacemaker show?
Maybe. I don't know if they want to pay for the CG, but
that's true.
But Weasel was a fan favorite. I mean, it seems like Weasel's just like deranged Rocket.
Yeah.
And Weasel's not that crazy. I looked up the character. The comic book character is fully lucid and can speak fully. Like it's not this giant, just a big animal more than a animal person.
I love when Ric Flair is just like, he agreed to do this.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. Woo!
Ric Flair. He agreed to do this. Whoa.
Yeah, that's what made me like Rick Flag in this movie. Is right off the bat, Rick Flag. Like it was kind of in the vein of his Katana speech, but it was like it was more like, all right, I've given this speech a million times about weird ass heroes. Just like get the fuck over it. He's the Weasel, okay? Deal with it.
Pete Davidson.
He's not a dog.
Werewolves.
Yeah, I don't fuck with werewolves. He's not a werewolf. He's a weasel.
Is this a dog?
He's harmless. Well, he's not harmless. He killed 27 kids.
But
kids. Specifically, he killed 27 kids. Oh yeah, I guess that's one of those murder kids jokes.
Dude, there's so many references to like saving the kids in this movie, which I just loved because this was the movie that he got after immediately hired on after getting fired off Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
So this was written in that angst period, I would assume, right after getting fired. So it's just so good. It's such a good movie too. So it's like, and James Gunn with his rapport, Warner Brothers was just like, we're hands off everything. Like James Gunn said, this is his cut. This is everything. He did what he wanted to do. So
yeah,
like,
that is good, and it shows. It shows. Do you think it redeems? Not that it changes. It does change the context of the first Suicide Squad, and it's still bad, and it still has the vibes are completely different. But
it's a case of the first Suicide Squad is complete studio interference, and then the second one is complete director control. And this is what you get. This is, it's like you get a cohesive. Even if the other one wasn't better, like any better of a movie, I'm sure David Ayer's original vision, if he was able to have full control, would have at least been a cohesive film.
I don't know. It's not like David Ayer's movies before that aren't crazy. Like they have decent movies,
but Suicide Squad is just like an editing nightmare. It's so all over the place. So I'm not saying it would have been a better film, but I'm sure
it would at least. Yeah, I think I heard somebody else say that. That it might not have been a great film, but at least would have been easier to follow. Yeah. Hopefully it was edited more. I think I might have watched the director's cut though when I watched it, which is not officially the director's or not the unrated or uncut version.
It's bad.
That
movie's bad.
Bad movie.
But
all right, let's score this baby.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. These are my kind of movies. This is the shit I'm into.
Okay, that is crazy high. That's crazy high. That's Minari level.
Minari was a 5 for me.
Oh, well, still though, you're saying that it's almost that level.
I enjoyed it.
That's like this is like the best movies ever made level. I'm not gonna. I'm not. No, I mean, but it's not. It's about like as a film, you know.
Oh, I just don't know. I came away with so little to knock it for.
I mean, that's fine. I just want to make sure I test that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want, and before you put this in stone, because I'm giving it a 3.5 personally.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's a level of Kingsman. I mean, that's still a really good movie.
Oh, I like this way more than Kingsman. I thought this was much better done.
I think it's like the same. I mean, it's better. His stuff I like better, but I also liked Kingsman a lot. I just thought it had flaws, and I feel the way about this as well. I think I didn't spend as much time harping on it because I didn't need to explain them as much. It was easier. Okay, yeah. And it doesn't mean this was a great movie. This was a really good movie. But yeah, I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5.
I understand.
And just like looking at the rankings, I looked at the way we scored other films on our list. Like 3.5 was Dread and Kingsman, and I was like, yeah, I think this is better than Dread for sure. But I think it's around the same level as Kingsman to me, but it's not as good as like First Blood. I like better than this, or stuff like that. And not that you can compare movies 1-to-1 and that's definitive of how they should be scored, but I just like thought about how I was thinking about all these other films, and I really liked it. 3.5 means I really liked it. So yeah, because 4.5 is a holy place. 4.5 and up to me is a holy place. That 4.5 is like 9 perfect, and 5 is a perfect. 4.5 is masterpiece. 4 is great. 3.5 is really good, and 3.5 is a solid movie. Or 3, I mean, is a solid movie. Like that's explaining my the way I feel about the upper tier. But I understand that this movie is Kory bait. Like this is
100%. I've seen it twice.
And that's why you're gonna feel that way. Is these are the kind of movies that you like.
I know I'm biased in that sense.
And it's done really well. Like, so when you get one of these movies and it's actually done well, like this is better than And I could see a 4. I would not argue with a 4, and I almost gave it a 4. And I wavered between giving it a 4 and a 3.5. So it's not like I'm like miles away from you. It's just specifically 4.5 and up to me is I will call the holy place.
For sure. I've seen this twice already in the past week. And I've been thinking about it a bunch and looking up scenes still from it. I just like, if a movie makes me do all that stuff and I'm so into it, then it's definitely above the 4 slot. Because it's very rare that I get like that into something where I want to dedicate time outside of just watching the movie, watching a review.
I feel like the young me, if I was in my early 20s or in high school, that this would be one of the best movies ever to me. Like action.
Fun if I was in high school, this would be my number one.
Maybe not my number one movie ever, but this would be this would be on that level to me. Not saying that your taste. I think your taste is just not saying that your taste is immature or anything like that. It's just I think you have a foot still in that. You're connected to that more than I am, and I think that I need to. I want to. Doing this is a part of that. Is me getting in touch with that just as much as it's you getting in touch with something else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. It feels like this is a Boom Fest movie for sure. Absolutely is. What do you think about comparing it? So we got in a discussion in the Discord about where do you put this in the best comic book movies ever? Where do you put this in the best superhero movies ever?
comic books. I guess there are superhero movies.
Any comic book adaptation could count.
I would say
But
this is on the
superheroes is probably the more
of
specific one. I'm curious of.
this. It's like hard to compare because like with Infinity War and Endgame, the reasons I like those so much was because it was a payoff for the 20 movies I had seen prior, and it felt so good. So it's hard to compare it to those things because like those are also other ensemble films. But like I like this better than the first two Avengers. I like this better than most of the Marvel movies as a whole.
I put this on the same level as Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is the other way I knew to give it a 3.5 because Guardians of the Galaxy is similar, and Thor Ragnarok I like better than this movie.
Thor Ragnarok. I would put this for me slightly above Thor Ragnarok and slightly below Infinity War. But for reasons of Infinity War,
I have Guardians of the Galaxy over all those. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is better than this. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is better than Infinity War and whatever Thor Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok is close. So if it was me, that's my Marvel tier. So if we're including all comic book movies, I would say, or not comic book movies, just superheroes. Dark Knight and Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2, or Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 and Into the Spider-Verse. So those
Into the Spider-Verse is really good.
So I would say my top two are, it was depending on when you ask me, is Spider-Man 2 or Into the Spider-Verse. And then my number 3 is The Dark Knight. I feel like that is, I mean, there's people that I think have waned on Christopher Nolan's you know what, but I think The Dark Knight holds up really well. And then Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorites. Period. I think that Guardians of the Galaxy does some of the similar things better and did it first. And the only thing that I think Suicide Squad does better is it has edginess and has edgy jokes, it has gore and violence, and I think that
it's like taking the restraints off.
So it is, but it's also doing the same thing, and I think that there's something more special to me about Guardians. I think I gave Guardians a 4 on my letterbox. So I'm not gonna pull it up right now. And I think I give Thor Ragnarok a 3.5 also. 3.5, but I could give that a 4 depending on when you ask me too. I feel like Thor Ragnarok and this are similar to me. I think those 3 movies though all really fit well together in a vibe. And I'm not saying that because James Gunn and Taika Waititi definitely have different styles, but it's the way that they incorporate humor and color. And
I like that they're both not afraid to make things not dark and gritty. You can be vibrant when you need to, and not everything has to be dreary. It can be fun. And I think for superhero movies of all time, I would put this. I think this has made a top 5. I think this is, but it's like I said, it's hard to think. I'd have to rewatch Infinity War and Endgame just to see.
They're not in my top 5.
For me, just like the payoff of like I don't know, like getting all that shit going down after the build.
They're in my top 10.
Watching 20 some movies.
They're in my top 10.
It's hard for me. Like it's hard to get over the payoff of that to like something.
Oh, those are amazing feat. It's an amazing feat to have pulled that off.
Appreciation.
Even if Marvel falls to shit from this point, the fact that they did that through Infinity War is legendary, and that's why it is in my top 10. There's just flawless because we're talking about films. Like that can stand as a film. They're still great, but I think that the movies I said are better. Are actually really great. Not that they're great too. You know what I mean? It's great versus great. All right, and then what about if we're including comic book movies? I just wanted to say one movie in particular, and that's Sin motherfucking City, baby. Sin City. I feel like it's a time capsule, and it got done by so many other movies that the style became dated a little bit. But I think that those movies are fire. I think I give Sin City a 5. You look at my letterbox right the fuck now. That is the only comic book movie I give a 5 to.
Wow. Yeah, Sin City is really good.
And I haven't seen it in a really long time. I saw it a shitload when we were in high school and right at early college because that's a movie that you watch when you're a teen and early 20s boy. But then I watched it so much I stopped. Never watched it. Never watched it.
I went on a weird kick probably like 3 years ago with it, where I just watched the 1 and 2 back to back, and
Well, there's only two.
yeah,
Right?
it's just 2, and then the Spirit is in the same shot
I
style.
know
I love the
you
Spirit.
agree with me. The Spirit, style wise, is so fucking underrated.
Oh yeah, it's such a great movie. I
It's
love the campiness is so amazing in it.
I think it is. I want to watch that. We can't do it for the podcast because it's not good enough. But I think it'd be worthy of an extra or just talking about it.
Yeah.
As why it's underrated. I would even edit a little more. We could turn like essay it or something. I would love to talk about that movie because I think it is. I think it gets swept under the rug because it's not as good as Sin City. In it looks like Sin City. It's not Sin City, but it looks like Sin City, and I think like people can't get over that. But it is just a simple noir, silly noir, campy story that harkens back to old comic strips. And I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while, so it could be worse than I remembered. But I remember really enjoying the style in the theater.
Yeah, I really liked it, and Sam Jackson's in it, and he's great. And the guy who plays the Spirit is just his delivery it kind of reminds me of just like like every line he's saying sounds like it's a Clint Eastwood one-liner, like the way he delivers it.
But all right, let's listen to Spirit cast. We should
But
do Spirit if you want to talk about it. But all right. You got anything else you want to say about do you have any other suggestions?
no, I'm pretty cool on
You
Suicide Squad.
satisfied this? You satisfied with this? All right. Cool. Glad to hear it. All right, let's move on to the next movie. I feel like this next one is gonna, if it's not divisive, it'll at least highlight our differences here. Zola, 2021. So if you're not familiar with this, it is based off of a Twitter thread from a few years ago. I don't have the year in front of me. I'll probably look it up. And it is a movie adaptation of that story. It stars Riley Keough and
Taylor Page.
It was there. It is, and directed by Janicza Bravo. So Riley Keough is in so many A24 movies. This is an A24 movie also. And Riley Keough is in like a million of them. She's in American Honey. She's in It Comes at Night. She's in Silver. I think she's in Beyond the Silver Lake. She's in this, obviously. I think she's in more. I in my A24 binge, which I've not yet finished, but this podcast has actually helped me get a few entries on the last couple of weeks. She's like I feel like her character is a lot. So both of these characters are significantly older than the characters in the Twitter story. I looked at the picture of them and I'm like, wow, these are like 19-year-olds, 18 and 19-year-olds. So what'd you think? Let's talk.
I don't know. This movie was very graphic, and which I figured it would be, but it was
not in the way it was a subversively graphic, in my opinion.
Yeah, which I like appreciated the subversiveness of it. But also it was just unexpected, and I guess the one sentence summary of my thoughts on this was it's been a while since a 90-minute movie felt long.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not even it's like sub 90 minutes.
It's like an hour 25.
I didn't think this felt long at all. It felt short. It just I read the story right before, so I think I was like looking for the changes a lot, and I wish I didn't do that. But I enjoyed it a lot, and it's like broken down in these 3 sections, like the journey down, and then when shit goes crazy, and then it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. This movie reminded me a lot of Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers. There's which also takes place in Florida, and because it's just like a little bit aimless. There's less of a narrative. It's just like weird girls in bikinis, like hot girls in bikinis doing crime, like robbing banks and on the run and stuff. And it has the way it uses color and stuff is very similar. I love like the artsy, introspective, like opening. Like they're staring at they're staring at the mirror, and they're the makeup. It's after they do their makeup, and it makes it seem like they're really good friends or whatever. And like this is a special story. This is like it's a trashy. This Twitter thread is very popular. It was viral on on a very basic level, like with a lot of regular people because it was ridiculous. It's not like this is some niche novel or something like that. But they convey it in this artsy way, and it's a juxtaposition on the ratchetness or the trashiness, and I think it's really cool. The main character Zola is very intelligent, and she knows how to navigate these worlds and knows as soon as something's about to turn left for her, she immediately is like, no fucking way, I'm not going to be manipulated into this. A lot of the stories about sex trafficking, and the dangers and how you can get dragged in to the life of sex trafficking, because it seems like it's going to be fun and partying, and it starts with stripping, and then you can easily get turned into tricking from there. The cast, other than those two, I don't have Nicholas Braun, my boy cousin Greg from Succession. I told you about Succession, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have I told you about cousin Greg and how he's hilarious?
I don't think so.
That Nicholas Braun, the actor plays Derek, is cousin Greg on Succession, and he is hilarious, dude. Hilarious. And if you ever watch that movie, or ever watch that show, you will understand someday what I mean.
Yeah, he was. I thought the cast was great. I thought they all the acting was terrific. And the Nicholas Braun guy is just, he plays such a dumb guy so well.
Yeah, he plays a dumb. He's very naive and dumb in Succession.
Yeah, and but yeah, the middle probably like from 40 minutes to, I guess, the last 40 minutes of the movie, I feel like things just kind of slowed down just because for the wild shit that was happening, I guess I was expecting it to be kind of like shot a little crazier or edited a little quicker or whatever. But it's very long takes, or not long takes, but like it slows down to these moments where it's just holding on the car ride for like 10 seconds straight, or 15 seconds straight, or it's holding on there,
it's made like an indie. It's made like already indie movie.
I enjoy like the cinematography of this. I absolutely loved. So it's not a knock on that, and I do love those choices with it, but it just felt like tonally it threw off the insanity of what was happening.
I think it was trying to portray it in this, like, it's supposed to be like dreamlike. It's just like, this is surreal. This is I can't believe this is happening. And it's weird that it's not like a nightmare. It's not being presented like a nightmare. Another big, I think, reason for a lot of the presentation is the aesthetic choice of 70s blaxploitation films. The film grain. There's a lot.
Yeah, I really liked it.
The film grain and the shot composition. I think that's also a choice for some of the way that the inside the hotel rooms are shot. There's a lot of there's female gaze in this movie, and it is just an interesting, because it's a movie about strippers and sex work, and you think there'd be a lot of boobies, and the most nudity is male. We don't see any breasts bare in this movie. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm forgetting. We see multiple penises, but no bare breasts in this movie.
I was texting Kylie about it earlier. She was asking me, because she ended up not watching it with me because she said it didn't look like her kind of movie. So I watched it last night, and texted her this morning about it, and she was like shocked that there was no female nudity.
Yeah, the movie is not trashy for how much the subject matter is, and I really like that. and it's short. It was such an easy watch because it was short for me. It's the beginning and the ends were the easiest parts. Of course, the middle was the lull, but there was just a short section where they were kind of trying to figure out where we go from here. The pimp, played by Coleman Domingo, who I saw in and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom with Viola Davis. It was Chadwick Boseman's last performance, and he had a very good performance. He was like the leader of the band, in that, so I like pointed him out immediately. He was really good. I didn't expect him to playing. It was wild seeing him play more pimp, like a pimp gangster kind of type. He's also foreign, so he's like trying to mask. Not the actor, the character. Yeah, the character is trying to mask his accent. I thought that was really cool. That's a part of the story, apparently. My issues with it were more so. There were things that they omitted. I couldn't get over some of the things they omitted from the story that were even crazier. Though I don't know if they were trying to portray it more truthful, because apparently there are some embellishments in the story. So I wasn't sure if they were trying to like take those out, or whatever have you. There was I'm not gonna like go break down the differences because it's more about the film itself. But I definitely wish I didn't read the story beforehand. I think I would have enjoyed it even more if I wasn't thinking about, oh, they didn't do this, oh, they did this instead. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. This isn't the craziest movie ever. It isn't like. It's not the best movie ever, or anything like that. I think just because it's short, it's not a huge commitment, and this is a wild ass story to see play out. And just because it's not like, you're right, this isn't edited or it isn't paced frenetically as the Twitter reads. It seems very wild and fast. Where this is wild, but it's slow, and it's like. We're having a chance to like ruminate on what's happening and how wild and intense this is, but it's so you can't, because that's the thing in the Twitter thread from Zola's perspective. She doesn't seem like she feels threatened. She has points where she does, but it seems like she's very confident, but she's like an observer. Like she's just here observing, and she will get involved when she chooses to get involved, but she's not going to do anything past that.
Yeah, I was shocked that it was a lot of her is just her sitting in silence and
watching these crazy fucking people.
Yeah, which I was waiting more for, just like her, like to lose it or more reaction to things rather than being subdued. But I mean, I like the movie a lot. Like I don't dislike it, but it's I guess was hoping it would be a little more hype, if that makes sense.
Oh, well, I mean, it just was, so it wasn't what you expected.
Yeah.
So that kind of messed with how you viewed it. I wonder if you'd like it better the second time. Not saying you have to watch it a second time, but because you know what it is now, and it's a low commitment, and if you would be more interested in what's going on. I don't have this dire need to see it again. I want Riss to see it, so I might watch it again with her, because I think she actually would enjoy it. I'm interested in her takes on the female gaze, the use of the female gaze instead. We got to talk about two specific scenes. Well, first we'll talk about the main female gaze thing was with the penis lineup. So the Riley Keough's character starts tricking after they don't make a lot of money at the strip club, and they there's this like montage of Johns that come in to sleep with her, and you see what they look like, and they look like average, regular guys, and then we get to see their penises one right after another, not flaccid penises, and most of them are small or just they're not hard, and then one of them was looked like elephantitis penis.
Yeah, that was.
It didn't look like a regular big dick. It looked like something was wrong with it. But they ding ding ding, like it was like a heart on it. Like oh my god, that was the other thing. I'm not gonna lie, was annoyed by this because I hate the Twitter noise.
Dog could not stand it in the beginning. It slows down after the.
It does. But in the beginning, it's constant.
Oh, so yeah, I did not like that at all.
I think it would have been better if it was like in beat with the score more. Because
I took that as. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just trying to illustrate how much social media and texting and this is a part of their lives, and it's and in the stories and from a Twitter thread. So like I like the choice. It's just that I think it's overbearing.
Yeah, I took it as what I took it as was every time you heard the Twitter noise, it was her saying one of like the Twitter like things out loud.
Oh,
It being written into the movie.
No, I
So
didn't
like
think that. No, I thought it was just her getting tweets and like tweeting.
because a lot of times it just happens
sometimes
when
it
she's
was
just like
dings.
standing and is not doing
Well, like
anything.
she might have got something. Somebody added her or DM'd her on Twitter. And it also does the dings, like the iPhone dings,
Yeah.
are also part of it.
I appreciate in this movie though that every single text conversation they just say aloud
I
while
don't know
standing
if
at
I
their phone.
liked. I don't think I liked that, and I understand that you
I
have to.
think that's better than just reading text. I hate when you just have shots of phones or just like the superimposed text going because you as a person you'll make up the tone of the text in your head rather than it may not be conveyed in the way that the actor saying it would be conveyed, and that's like having them say it you get more of the vibe of like how the actual like, emotion behind the conversation is going. So, like I enjoyed it. Like, it was different.
I think I don't. That's my one gripe about the movie is I wasn't sure how I felt about Riley Keough's performance. Not caring that she's older, that they're older than the characters, but I felt like it was really cringe, and I guess it was trying to be over the top because it's like affected white girl, voice, and it's supposed to be really grating and over the top, but it made the first half of the movie for me. That's what made it a slog. It wasn't the runtime; it was having to hear that voice forever. And I honestly would have
Yeah,
liked. Have you seen the Florida Project?
I've not.
Okay. Well, there's a character in that who's from Florida and is very trashy in a similar way. But and she has an accent, but it's just not this affected. It is not this over the top. And then there is an over the topness to some of this movie.
You know
It's
what her voice is identical to? She sounds exactly like Bad Baby.
I think that's got to be what she modeled this performance
Like
after.
this is the Cash Me Outside voice to a
Yeah,
T.
no, you're right. I didn't think about that. It has to be what she modeled her performance after, like white girl affected
Like
voice.
this is what the current white girl, yeah, affected voice sounds like.
Well,
Um,
yeah, it's good one, Core. Uh,
but I mean, it was cool. Also felt like the ending it just kind of ended like anticlimactically. Like after like like the dude gets shot in the hotel room at the end, I thought, I'm guessing like what, police gonna come or whatever, but no, they just go and have bacon at the dude's house, and then Derek fucking like I feel bad for saying this, but hilariously tries to kill himself, and
that's what happens in the story. But he gets caught on his shirt. He doesn't fall, I don't think, or something. Something happens that he doesn't get fucked up that bad.
but yeah, then they're just in the car and it just kind of ends. Like they throw the guns out the window and
I heard
it's over.
somebody I think say this on something I watched afterwards, but they said that it felt like this movie could have ended at like any point. Like so in the story it ends with them getting on the plane, they make it back home and her boyfriend's like, "Yo, what the fuck happened to you? Why are you with this white boy?" And she just says something like, "Oh, I'll explain later." And that's how the story ends. So I thought they were going to go that whole way to the ending, but they decided to just cut it on the way to the airport. I don't know how you're gonna explain how Nicholas Braun's skull's like cracked open, but
Yeah.
Derek's skull's cracked open. I really liked the performance of the guy who befriends Derek. The other pimp, the Florida pimp, the one what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. He was
Yeah.
hilarious. He was so funny to me because he played it so slick, and then when it was time to do the bad stuff, he just like had so much charisma. I don't know. I like that guy's performance.
Yeah, he was cool. The I was I he made him it was like too likable in the beginning when he's like hanging out with Derek, and so that
Cause
by
he
the
knew
time I got to
something
the
was
end,
up. Yeah.
I was like, man, why you were so cool earlier? Like, why couldn't you just stay cool? But
Well, but
the
all right.
yeah,
All right, I think I'm.
It's such a short movie that's like I don't know. It feels like not a lot happened, but a lot did.
A lot
But
happened, but
it's
yeah.
stretched out, the way it's stretched it, like I don't know, the way they cut it and stretched it out, it made it feel like, for me at least, that it made it feel like a lot of shit didn't go down. But even though in real life over that time frame, yeah, it would a ton of shit has gone down.
It didn't make it feel as you're right. Like it doesn't make it feel as rapid as hearing all these wild things in succession in different tweets. This like made each of those tweets like a chapter. You know, like if this was like a not each, but you know what I mean. Like it's I don't think it and like I don't want to use the word stretched out because I don't feel like this movie was like unnecessarily like extended for time. I think it was the style choice, and the dream thing, the surreal thing, and everything feeling like because it's almost like a Lynch thing where everything just takes longer than it would, and it makes it feel a little uncanny. It makes it feel a little weird, off. Like it's moving slower than the lines are coming slower than you think that they would. I wanted to talk about one specific scene. This is how I knew that I loved this. Was towards the end there is a sequence of a man being beaten by police, and it goes on for a long time, and it's just it's in like the background, and we're getting a shot of the road, and we're driving past a pulled over man, and we just hear what they're saying. And I was like, what, why is this in this movie? Like I was like, I'm all for this shit, I'm all for this. I support this commentary, but like, where is this going? Why is this trying to relate to the racial relations, the privilege of what's her name, Jessica? I think Jessica is her name in the real story. I can't remember her name in the movie. Is it because of the white girl? Stephanie. Stephanie, yeah. Is it because of the racial relations and privileges and the way that they're dealing with these situations? And I was stretched into that, but I didn't really know why this was happening. And then they pull up to the hotel that the one of the last big scene's gonna happen at, and you still can hear the man screaming, and they look like they're like a mile away from where that's happening, and you can still hear it. And they walk inside, and there's like a little restaurant bar in the hotel, and there's a shot just like through a door, like spying on them, is a shot of two white people performing, and they're performing like Jamaican music. They have like tropical clothes on, and there's a steel drum, and they're like doing reggae or something, and it's like white people like doing black people stuff, and then there's a actual black person outside getting beat the fuck up by police for just living. I really liked that. I didn't like it, and I didn't understand why. Like I felt like this is so heavy-handed, and then it's just a subtle shot of the white people playing the steel drum and holding on it for like 10 seconds, and I was like, okay, I get this, and I love this. This is like this is powerful now, like, to me.
Yeah, I didn't think about the relationship between the two. That's interesting.
Because it's almost random. It feels like why is this here? And then when you see, then I put it together and like, this is fucking genius. I went from makes no sense to this is genius. Once I finally put it together, and then the final scene plays out, like the climax scene, and then the movie kind of wraps up with one more scene after that.
So did this dude get arrested after for shooting that man?
So I guess I've read that they were caught in Las Vegas. They trapped all the way to Las Vegas and got arrested there, and he was arrested in connection with 20 other murders and and for sex trafficking. So he went to prison. All right, I think we're going over time a little bit, so we should probably give our scores.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go right ahead. This is gonna be a 3.
Wow. I think plenty of people gave it a 3 online. I don't think that's nothing worth arguing with you. I gave it a 3.5. I gave both movies 3.5. That's my hot take. Liked them both 3.5s.
Yeah, I like this movie. It just I feel like it could have kept the style that it had, but making it a little bit more frenetic, I guess. As you
I
said
I
earlier.
think I think you want a different movie out of it. You want an action. You want a more typical action drama
Not so much
thriller.
action
You
drama,
want to know. You want like a drama
but
thriller
fast,
black
yeah.
comedy, and it's just not. It's not that. It's like more. It takes
I'm
its
like
time.
the same movie, just cut a little faster, just having a little bit
Yeah,
more.
more mainstream.
That doesn't mean more mainstream necessarily.
Just like yeah, I mean a little bit.
Because not everything that's cut fast is mainstream. Like look at the Safdie brothers.
That's not mainstream. That's indie.
That's what I'm saying, but that's stuff that's cut fast and gives
Yeah,
makes
but that's that's the intention. They're trying to make it frenetic. This is, I think you want a Safdie brothers movie out of this, and it's just not that. That's what I'm saying. It's like your expectations has changed.
Not that extreme though. Like maybe like 10%.
I think if your expectations weren't for that kind of movie, that I think you would have enjoyed this more. But I can't know. Do you disagree with that?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'd still just want it to just be slightly faster paced. But that's it. That's my only real critique of it. But it's enough that
I think it's fine.
That it just felt a little slow. But yeah, I think the casting's great. I love the cinematography. I watched it in Dolby Vision, and like the grain like looks really good. It doesn't make it like mushy or anything. It just makes it so textured, with all the like the subdued color and everything that it has. Really big fan of that. But
all right.
Yeah.
Well, just to let you know how I ranked everything, I put Suicide Squad right below Kingsman. And I might put it above it now that you've made me want to. I put it, so then if I do that, it's below Pig. And Zola. Oh, I gave Zola a 3. It says here, but I think I might give it a 3.5 also. I think I think I fucked myself because I didn't write it down. I think I initially gave it a 3, and now after talking with you about it, I gave it a 3.5. Sometimes I don't know. Now I feel like I'm betrayed myself. I think if it, I don't know. I think I liked it more than Dread. Now we're thinking about it, so I'm giving it a 3.5.
I like this more than Dread.
Well, you gave Dread a 3.5, didn't you?
I like the cinematography and the style of it more than Dread, I should say.
I think it's just a better film, but I think Dread is a cool film. Like,
yeah.
That and like that's I think you have a heavier weight for cool than me, and that's okay. I think that's I like that. That's the difference between us. And Kingsman, Suicide Squad, they're all cool also. But I think Zola is a well-made film. So I don't know. I think it's in that mix though. They're all around each other. Same with Pig. You could argue Pig below. I have Heat though above Suicide Squad.
I would not put Heat above Suicide Squad.
I know you would not.
That's just talk about slow. That's just too slow for me.
Ugh.
I mean it's cool for what it is. Like it's really fucking cool for what it is. It's too long.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with all that. But all right. So let's figure out what we want to do next week because I think we didn't talk about it, did we?
No, not really.
I was trying to get you to lock down something.
We had talked about Inland Empire or like a
No, we did not talk about doing that. You asked about that movie, and I said it's 4 hours.
No, before that you said you'd be down with the Lynch film. You said we do need to watch more of them.
I didn't mean next, but yeah, if you want to.
What are you feeling?
I don't know. I don't remember what we had discussed. I guess we'll just have to figure it out then. If we don't have it ready right now. Because you were talking about doing Dune, so I thought you meant around when Dune comes out, we do Lynch stuff. Like we do Dune and we do Dune and a Lynch movie, and then the next week we do the new Dune or something.
Gotcha.
That's what I thought. I have this transcript up here. Did you watch Space Jam?
No, I ended up not getting time.
Oh, we did. It was a capitalist fever dream. Actually, it was pretty entertaining, but it is bad. Really bad movie, but entertaining. I thought you said you wanted to see Killing of a Sacred Deer. That's what you said.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, that one. I'm just
wanted
curious.
to
I like the
see
lobster.
because I wanted to see Another Round with Mads Mikkelsen. And I also brought up First Cow and Saint Maud, but I don't want to do too many A24 movies. I feel like we've been on a really hot A24 streak.
Well, there's not a lot. There's just not a lot of like movies out right now that I'd want to see. Like Old, maybe, but it doesn't sound like it's good.
Alex Wolff is in it. Yeah, Old would be the only other one I'd be interested in seeing. It's new.
If we do,
I don't, but I feel like Old's already irrelevant anyways. Let's do something old. Let's go to the list. We must consult the list.
Oh.
Let's do Barry Lyndon. Oh, because weren't we? But I don't think your hand can handle a 3-hour dog right now. Oh, I also want to do Pink Flamingos. I've been really wanting to do Pink Flamingos. Or I'd be down to do Harmony Korine if since we just talked about
I've never
him.
seen any. Yeah, I've never seen anything from him.
Let's do Gummo or Kids, but
someone just referenced Kids. I was watching the X Games for this year, and one of the announcers referenced for some reason. And I'm just like, because I don't even know what the movie's about other than you described it to me a while ago.
All right, let's do Gummo. And yeah, we can do Gummo and Kids, or if you want to do Gummo, yeah, let's do Gummo and Kids. I feel like they'd go together well. And it's not A24. All right, there we go. You got it. There's your assignments, everybody out there. Make sure you watch those films. Are you going to be able to do it next week?
So I work Friday and Monday, so I'll just be in LA on Saturday and Sunday, but I'm off both those days.
All right, so we can stream at normal time potentially.
Yeah, if you want to do Saturday again.
All right. As long as you aren't too busy yet. We've been talking about bumping down to every other week. I'm also in talks, and I'll mention this now on the cast. I've been talking to a friend of mine, Claire, about doing a sister podcast to this one called The Best Girl Podcast, an anime podcast. Because best boy and best girl is like a thing in anime, like your favorite girl in the show you call your best girl. So yeah, and you're welcome to join us on that as well. This is probably the first I've remembered to tell you about it. And it's supposed to be a once a month thing to supplement what we're doing. And I figure if we ever move to every other week, that at least there'll be 1 week of the month that we can plug in with that.
Cool.
And you're welcome to join us on that. And I figure if we do anime on movies on this, that Claire could join us if she wants.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We're building a podcast network here. I'd like to thank everybody watching today. We got a lot of follows and subs thanks to Bodak at the beginning, and new friends in the Discord. The Discord is growing. The Village in the Wired link is in the chat. I'll try to remember to start putting it in the YouTube video in the podcast, the video descriptions. We are actually getting listeners. I've been meaning to show you the numbers, but not like a lot, but we get listeners on every episode. So
nice. It's
cool. So it's good to keep doing this, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I think it's going well. I don't know if have we surpassed Pit Bros podcast yet?
I think we made up to 16 on that one.
Oh, so not quite yet. Yeah, I feel like truly stick with it. That'll be a milestone to surpass. But all right, do you have anything else you want to say?
No. Not on my end, but
well, make sure
I'll
that
probably have some work news next week. But
make sure you follow us. Follow me, Sob Thomas, on Twitch, Twitter, and all the things. Make sure you follow Best Boys on Facebook, and on all the streaming services and YouTube. That's the big one. If you want to watch recordings of the video podcasts. And make sure, like and do all those things, reviews, do all those things. You support us, and thank you all, and have a good one.
See you later.